Hello YouTube, my name is Adnan Çağdaş. I'm a rugby league national from Turkey who's genuinely interested in welding. So today I will be giving you an extensive guide on how to get into TIG welding in your apartment. So the question has always been in my mind that if I could start welding at home. So this has been the case and a question because I had nowhere to practice, or I didn't know anyone who could teach me how to weld. So without the experience, I also couldn't get any jobs to improve my welding. So the first thing I did to get into welding at home by myself was to buying a stick welder, a little stick welder. And then I started practicing stick welding in my balcony. And then I realized that it wasn't practical at all because it will get so hot, you'll get all dirty, etc., etc. So at some point I had to quit stick welding, but my enthusiasm for welding wasn't over. So I started searching for an alternative and more practical way to get into welding or continue welding at home by myself. And I had to keep the costs minimal because I wasn't sure that if I could do it, if I could get good at it, or if I will like it and keep doing it for the rest of my life. So today I will be giving you a extensive guide on the least expensive way to start TIG welding at home. So to start with, the first thing you have to get is a inverted type stick welder. And make sure that the machine you get can TIG weld. It has to be written on the manual. So the second and the most expensive one is an argon bottle. So you have to get a gas cylinder and a regulator. So I think that's the three. So the fourth one is a TIG torch with a valve. This is an off and an on switch. You can't adjust the gas flow from here. You'll be needing a welding helmet. This is a auto darkening helmet. A cheaper one would be a manual one, like a flip hood. I can't recommend this for TIG welding, but it might be the case for you. So a pair of TIG gloves, not MIG gloves. TIG gloves gives you more dexterity, so that's something you need while TIG welding. You will need filler rods depending on your base material. So the cheapest one will be mild steel and S2 copper coated filler wires, filler rods, however you call it. And this is also a nice little invention by my dad to keep the rods dry and keep them from oxidizing. So you'll need kind of a grinder. This is the one I prefer. And you have to use it only for tungsten, because if you use it for steel or another metal, it will dip the foreign metals into your tungsten and it will contaminate it. So keep it in mind. I use this wheel only for tungsten. You need an electrode holder, a collet body, or you can use gas lens, which gives you better gas coverage, but it's a topic of another video. So we need electrodes. The cheapest ones will be 1/16 of an inch electrodes, and keeping in mind that if you weld at home, you don't want red electrodes, which are thoriated and radioactive. So you don't want radioactive shit floating around your apartment. These are gray ones, which are serrated. Forgive me, my hands are really shaky, but I'm not sure if you can see it, but these are gold colored tungstens, which are 1.5% lanthanated. You can get blue ones, which are 2% lanthanated. I think that those are the best ones. So the cheapest ones I can get my hands on in Turkey are gray and gold. 1.5 lanthanated and 2% serrated. And keep it in mind that those three has to match in size. Your collet body, electrode holder, and your electrodes. On your torch you'll also need an insulator, but this most probably will come with your torch. You have to buy a valve torch to convert your stick welder into your scratch start TIG welder. So this is a gas lens kit. Now I'll assemble it to show you guys the cheaper ones, the cheaper cups. A back cap will also be needed, but it will also most probably come with your brand new torch, I'll say. So back cap, electrode holder. Oh, this is a nozzle. This is a gas lens. As I said, is a topic of another video. So this is the torch we have. This is a serrated. This is a gray electrode holder. So this is a collet body. I put it in. I put the back cap until it's not so loose. And then I insert my cup. Oh, I forgot about the insulator. Here we go. So I'll be reinstalling my gas lens kit back because I'm short on argon and I need good gas coverage on economy mode, I'll say. Today I'm really short on argon, so I'll be using the gas lens kit for less gas usage with better coverage. So here I have my brand new electrode, a serrated one with a blunt tip. So I'll be sharpening this now. Just a little bit. So this is the sharpened tip of the electrode. So keep it in mind that you should never sharpen your electrodes this way. Sharpening it this way will give it the incorrect grooves. That will cause a bad arc. So now we are moving on to the material prep. So first things first, you have to have your safety gear. Goggles, hand protection, ear protection is a must if you are almost deaf like me. So gloves, protection, and after that you need a grinder. Grinder with a wire wheel and a flat wheel for cleaning your plates. And this is a plate I took from a scrapyard. So what we're going to do is get our safety gear on, wire wheel this first, and then flat wheel it, and hopefully we'll get it clean and shiny. So first, which leaves me less left. So this is the plate I'm going to work on today. These are my previous welds before I got my first job. So these lines that I marked with this little guy gave me a lot of precision when I'm welding, so I'm recommending you to do so. Practice plates for T-joints, as you can see, they are clean and shiny. I mean, they were clean when I first prepped them. So what I do is, as I showed you, first I hit it with a wire wheel, then with a flat wheel, and then you need a bottle of acetone like this, and you wipe it off with acetone. You wipe your tungsten electrodes with acetone, and you also wipe your filler rods with acetone. This is a rather clean piece of scrap that I got from the scrapyard. This is the scrap that I use as my welding table. I use it to put my ground on. This is one of the very first TIG welds that I made. Now I'm going to show you guys how much dirt comes out of a random welding rod. For this case, I will be using paper towels. This is acetone. By the way, I'm wearing these gloves because acetone actually penetrates through your skin and gets to your internal organs, namely your liver. So I'm not going to get into the how to weld part in this video, but basically what you're going to do is a scratch start means that you have to actually scratch the metal as if you will do with shielded metal arc welding, aka stick welding. So you either will scratch the base metal like very, very gently and lightly, or you can try, again, very lightly tap it, and if it sticks, I recommend not vigorously pulling it out, just with slow motions, and hopefully you'll get a nice arc after that, like this, yeah. So there are billions of good content on how to weld, how to TIG weld, with a scratch start. So there are very comprehensive guides on that, so I'm not going to touch on them, as I'm not a pro welder anyway. So I recommend you to check on welding tips and tricks, Tim Welds, and Pacific Arc TIG welding, and there must be a lot more good channels that I forgot to mention now, but there are billions of good content on them, so there's no need for me to explain you how to weld. So the only exercise I'm going to mention in this video is one I got from Welding Tips and Tricks, and that is welding with your left hand until the middle, and welding with your right hand until the middle. For those of you who don't know it, you can't pull with TIG. You always have to weld to the side that you have your welding rod, so against your welding rod. I beg your pardon for not wearing long sleeves for the video, but I'm already soaking wet, and it's hot summer, so let's go.